What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Juggalo972 here, and what am I doing at the moment right now? Well, I have decided to put together some of my most favorite questions that I have answered from Ask Juggalo972. Now, if you haven't been following me for the past few years, I have introduced a little segment on Juggalo972 called Ask Juggalo972, where I take some of your questions. And the last one that I did, I believe it was sometime earlier this year, I did a live stream as well to give you a pretty good idea. As you can tell, I've done some live streams in the past, or just recently too. So, but yeah, basically what it is though is I take some questions sent in by you, the subscribers, and I answer every last one of those questions that I can pick out too. So, I have compiled a small compilation of some of my most favorite questions that I have answered. That I have answered in the past few years too. So I believe I introduced this in 2015, whenever I was in the middle of a transitional period in my life though. But it really helped. It really helped me, just kind of just deal with certain issues I was dealing with in my life as well too. So, and I have y'all to thank for this though, because it's one of my favorite moments and one of my favorite segments that I've done on this channel. And all I can really say though, it's brought a lot of great joy and it's brought a lot of fun in my life as well. So I want each and every one of y'all to enjoy my favorite moments on Ask Juggalo972. Much love, peace, God bless, and be good to each other. And most importantly, happy Independence Day. Come by. In case you didn't know, that's Japanese for cheers. Much love. Peace. Next question I got is from Ben Ambrosio. If you had two dicks, which way would you dress? If I had two dicks, how would I dress? If I had two dicks, I would dress like Caitlyn Jenner. Oh, hot. Let's see, the next question that I got is from Altered Lover. And, well, there are two questions, as a matter of fact. And she writes, what's the most disappointing game or games you have played? Another one would be, what is your favorite obscure and underrated game? Or underrated game? Okay. Let's see. Let me start with the disappointments, okay? Let's see, the first disappointment I'm going to go to is with Call of Duty Ghosts. Because of its multiplayer, for obvious reasons. But I will not shit on Ghost completely though, because that campaign was amazing. The second one I can think of, Tower of Guns. I got it for free on PlayStation Network, and I don't know, it just wasn't fun. I'm not trying to shit on it though, it just was not fun. I expected it to be a little bit more wacky and more action-packed, but it just wasn't fun. The third one I would choose is Titanfall. Now, I can give Titanfall a few reasons why I was disappointed in it though. The first 3 months that I played were the most fun I had with it though. But around that time when they did I think it was the first patch update though, the hit detection was bad. Everything was just laggy. It had the Battlefield 4 syndrome with the bad lag compensation and the bad net coding, if you will. But of course I owned it on the Xbox 360, and as my cat comes up and begs for me to pet her, the other thing I can think of is, well, I mean, you played it with me though, because you're a friend of mine on Xbox Live. The fourth disappointment I would go with is Final Fantasy XII on the PlayStation 2. And the reason I chose Final Fantasy XII on the PS2 is because it used the exact same battle system as Final Fantasy XI. And to be quite honest, that battle system should have stayed on FF11 and not integrated on FF12. Plus, when you add in the whole licensing thing when it comes to weapons, it was a good concept though, but I just didn't like it. The next disappointment I would go with is probably ActRaiser 2. Now, I've got two views on ActRaiser 2, simply because as a kid, and as an adult as well too, the one thing that I fell in love with was ActRaiser's sim mode. You play one level, and then you build the town, then you play Act 2. ActRaiser 2 didn't have any of that. It had a storyline though, but it just really didn't have, the simulation portion though. The reason that ActRaiser was so successful. And on top of all that though, the game was slow, And, you know, when you add slowness, you know, a slow main character, you know, with a hard difficulty, it just makes it a lot less fun. But as an adult, I will say that ActRaiser 2 is enjoyable, but still a disappointment. Now, my favorite, most obscure game, let's see. My most favorite obscure game has to be Conker's Bad Fur Day on the N64. I still have my copy, and let's just say the story mode on that is just hilarious. All the movie references, and the multiplayer was a lot of fun too. The next question comes from Brittany Parker, and she asks, what is your favorite thing about being a heel? Okay. You know, I actually wrote down a couple of bullet points for this, though, so... Alright, as everybody knows, I'm actually an independent pro wrestler here in the state of Texas, you know, of course all over the United States, or everywhere, every chance that I go, any booking I can take. I've been doing this for 9 years, actually, and my favorite part about being a heel is mainly because you get so much creative freedom of just being able to work. You know, you've got so many different responsibilities, but at the same time, though, you've got just as many responsibilities as the face does, too. Now, when you watch a wrestling show, one of the reasons that the heel always seems to garner so much creative freedom is because that it's very, very, very easy to set people off. Let's see. There's also an art, you know, to working as being the bad guy. You know, and when you're the bad guy, though, there's an old saying that, you know, the bad guys have the most fun. Plus, you're an antagonist, and you're an antagonist for a reason. You're the opposite of the face, and one of the reasons why you're the opposite is because you have one thing that you want to be, or one thing that you want to accomplish. And that accomplishment could either be you want to be the world champion, you want to start a movement, or, you know, if you're looking to overthrow the establishment, you know, because there's always that one, you know, one person who would try to overthrow the establishment or who was anti-establishment. And I think the greatest one that we all knew was Stone Cold Steve Austin. And originally he was a heel. And lo and behold, he got over with the fans and became the hottest thing in pro wrestling after he beat Shawn Michaels. Or, correction, even before that. Put him with Bret Hart, and that's what you have. You had a double switch. You had the good guy becoming the bad guy, and the bad guy becoming the good guy. A bad guy has got to believe that whatever he or she is doing is the right thing, no matter how screwed up their logic may be. That's something said by Mick Foley. And the final question comes from Michael Hunt. And as you can tell, clever way to spell your name. And he asks, I see that you're a wrestler. I watched a match with you versus Bobby Lambert. I've seen quite a few of your matches, but that one was awesome. That guy looks freaking huge. What was it like wrestling him, and why don't you share that vid of your page? On your page. I think you could do, draw some more views for you. Oh my god. Bobby Lambert's a great guy. You know, he works stiff. He's a great worker in general. He just lays it in. I'm not going to lie. Those shots, man, they were no joke. No joke whatsoever. I felt every last one of them. Oh, man. My only regret during that time, though, was I had just graduated from college. I took a 3-month hiatus, you know, just to focus on my academics at that point, and then that was my first match after coming back from graduating. That promotion was XCW Wrestling in Denton. That was their Beanstalk show because XCW doesn't run regularly anymore. That was their tribute show that they had. RE4 Master M asks, well, you should upload ICP's old shit album. Okay. You've asked me this a few times already, and you know what? I'm going to say it again. You are officially on my shit list! No. And simply because, the reason why I'm saying no is simply because of this. I don't want to. I already have ICP Classics on my channel at the moment. Part 1 features Classic ICP. Part 2 features Classic ICP as well, too. So, stop asking me to upload the old shit album. One more thing, when I take requests, you'll know. And then send them to those proper channels, please. Okay, let's see. The first one comes from my boy in Australia, Ape TV, and he asks, Best Wrestling Federation right now, hands down, it's a tie between New Japan Pro Wrestling and Ring of Honor. Because they're working, the way they're working together right now, it has to be probably one of the best things that's going on with the business. And the reason why I say that, though, is because don't get me wrong, I love NXT, as much as I love, WWE though. But right now, New Japan, Ring of Honor, and NXT are the best things in the business right now. Anything else? Sure, maybe CZW, because that last video came from CZW. But if you really want extreme, check out Big Japan Pro Wrestling. They've got two styles: deathmatch style and strong style. Let's see. Aside from CZW and Big Japan, NXT, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Chikara Pro. Yes, Chikara. The next question comes from Kirsten PB, and she asked, has there ever been a game that really hit you in the feelings? Like, was extremely upsetting, made you ecstatic, or in other words, just extremely relatable? What game and which feelings did it play on? That's a good question, actually, because I have a few that I can that really come to mind. First time I beat Super Mario RPG, when Geno and the whole party got the last star piece, and Geno went up back to the Star Road. Everybody kind of gathered together. It was really heartwarming, though. It was sad to see him go, but it was really happy, though, because, you defeated Smithy, the world was back to normal, you know what I mean? Princess was back in her castle. She's not in anybody else's castle. Even Bowser got his castle back, too, which was really cool. So yeah, the ending of Super Mario RPG was really good, too. Secondly, in Final Fantasy VIII, and the ending when Squall and Renoa finally kiss. Around that time, whenever I finished Final Fantasy VIII, I was in 8th grade, and I had a girlfriend at the time, and she and I both played together. It was really cool, though, because I related to it, though, because it reminded me of my first date with her, basically. It was really fun. Oh, yeah. And my girlfriend at the time kind of looked like Renoa as well, too, so it was kind of cool. And I didn't have long hair either. My hair was short and kind of spiky too, so it looked like I had a fade. And let's see. Lastly, I think the one that hit me the most as far as emotions go, I would have to say Iris' death on Final Fantasy VII was what hit me the hardest. And I can relate to it because I read sometime during the middle of Final Fantasy VII's development, Hironobu Sakaguchi lost his mother in the midst of the development, and it really hit me, though, because I saw how much the emotion played on it, though, because when I finished disc 1 around that time, my grandmother passed away, and she was the first person that I really loved outside of my mom and dad. But yeah, it was just amazing, just how much it played on you. Especially, whenever you see Iris die, and then you just take your rage out on Jenova. And all the, horrible things that Sephiroth says about Iris, and just completely ignores how, humans feel as well. It's definitely, hard-hitting, though. But I think the part that hit the hardest, though, are when you got Yuffie and Tifa in your party after you beat Jenova. When Yuffie walks up to Iris' dead body, she pays respect because she's a ninja. She pays respects, she bows her head and walks up to Cloud, and she's holding in her strength. And then she finally bursts into tears and hugs him and runs off. And when Tifa walks up to Iris, she goes up and she streaks her hair, just adoring her because she's beautiful in life as she was in death. And then she holds her mouth up and then she runs off. The moment I saw that, I lost it. No doubt, I got no shame in admitting that, though. And it was a nice little swan song, though, because when Cloud picks her up and then puts her in the water for her to sink underneath, though, she was just beautiful as she was alive, but she wasn't dead. So yeah, those 3 moments right there really got me in the feels, if that makes sense. DC Fago Guy asks, what was your favorite Halloween costume you had as a kid? Adult too, if you want to make it for 2. When I was a kid, in 7th grade, I dressed up as Leon Kennedy. Now, I had some right shield, some right gear pants with some combat boots, and a long sleeve t-shirt with because my dad used to be a police officer for Garrett, Texas Police Department. And what we did, we made a small little mold, just like a foam mold of what is it? A foam mold of a bulletproof vest. And on the front, we also had some iron-on letters that said RPD on them. That said Raccoon Police Department. I had one of those little cap guns, you know, the ones that look, what is it, like a 45? You know, those old cap guns that we used to have as a kid where they looked real, but they had the little orange cap gimmick on the front to show that it was fake. I also had like one of those little press-in knives as well. And what I did, because my dad had an extra holster at the time, because he was a police officer, he had a holster that he let me use. On the side, we took I forget what it was. We took some wood and we painted it gray to, you know, to symbolize that there were magazines, you know, clips. And I took a hairspray bottle, an empty hairspray bottle that was clear, put some water in it and put some green dye, and went to my printer and taped out, just cut it out, and on the tape it said first aid spray. The scariest memory that I had, when I was 14 years old, I got caught in a drive-by shooting. At the time, my girlfriend, my best friend, and myself were waiting on her, my girlfriend's mother to come pick her up. On the other side of the street, there was a gang fight going on. Her mother drove past us and completely missed us. I was wearing black shorts, and I believe I was wearing a red t-shirt. I think it was a Dark Lotus t-shirt during that time. This was like 2001 when this happened. I mean, I don't remember everything too clearly, though, because it happened so fast. But all I remember hearing was just gunshots. A car, you know, coming behind us, you know, just bullets whizzing by, and I could feel these bullets, you know, coming behind me. It was pretty scary. Yeah, it was probably one of the most scariest things I'll ever remember. You know, you never forget a lot of things that you experience. You know, even if they happen pretty fast. But to me, that's what I remember.